Good day to all of you. Today we are going to discuss social class in workplace. For the end of the chapter, we are able to discuss the effects of social class within the diversity, the types of social classes, the ability to identify the different social classes in the world, and to know what social class we are in our society. Okay, when we say social class, this is a status of hierarchy by which groups and individuals are classified on the basis of esteem. It's all about regard, respect, and prestige, about reputation, influence derived from achievements. And the different lifestyle of social classes lead to different benefits being sold. So as the saying goes, birds of the same feather flock together. Members of the same social class tend to share common values and beliefs and behaviors that unite them, as opposed to simple demographics. Common factors used to place people into different social classes, occupations, source of income, possessions, associations with others, and level of influence. There are three broad issues and 10 variables in the study of social class. First, we have economic basis. So under economic basis, we have the occupation, the wealth, the income, and the poverty. Next one is social basis. Under social basis, we have prestige, association, socialization, and social mobility. And then political implications includes power and class consciousness. So again, these are the three broad issues, and under that issues are the variables in the study of social class. Okay. Here's an example of the US social class ladder, wherein for the social class, we have the capitalist, upper middle, the lower middle, the working class, the working poor, and the underclass. So for the educational attainment of the capitalist, they mostly graduated from prestige university. For upper middle, they usually graduate for college or university open with only. And then for the lower middle, at least high school, perhaps some college or apprenticeship. For working class, high school graduate. For working poor, some are high school graduate. And for underclass, some are high school. Okay. For the occupation, for the capitalists, mostly they are investors and a few executives. And then for the upper middle, they are professionals and upper managers. For the lower middle, they are some of them are semi-professionals, staff people, and foremen. Then for the working class, some of them were working from the factory, clerical worker, retail sales, and low-paid craftspeople. And then for the working poor, some of them are laborers, service workers, low-paid salespeople. For the underclass, some of them are unemployed and part-time on welfare. So this is the difference of their income for social classes. So as you can see, from the highest to the lowest, with $500,000 as an income, and then for the underclass, so $500,000 is for the capitalist, and for the underclass, it's about $10,000. And then for the percentage of population, the least the percentage of population fall into the capitalist, and then the highest fall into lower middle and the working class, which has 30%. Okay. How are people being ranked? People are being ranked in terms of income, occupation, power, privilege, manner of living, region where they live, age, gender, and race. Okay? So the greater status and wealth, the more privileges and opportunities one can get. Sadly, but it is true. The basis of social stratification are wealth, power, and prestige. So when we say wealth, this is associated with education and occupation. When we say power, ability of one party to affect the behavior of one another party. And then prestige is the distinction or reputation and how people are subjectively evaluated by others. Okay? Okay, here is the pyramidal stratification in the Philippines. So for the lower level of the pyramid, we have the 60% of the lower class having the lowest status in the society. And then for the middle class, we have 30%. Their incomes provide a comfortable. And then for 10% refers to the elite families who are the most productive and successful. Social classes of the modern Filipinos. So income or wealth. So we have here the poor, the average, and the rich. So for the lower or poor class, it's about 70%. For the middle class, it's about 20%. And then for the rich, it's about 10% of the population. Okay, so for the social lower class percentage, which falls into 70%, the occupation are laborers and unskilled workers. Middle class, which falls to 20%, occupations are professionals, skilled or semi-skilled workers in the offices, factories, or farms. Then upper class falls into 10%, which occupation are wealthy industrialists with big corporations, owner of large plantation or haciendas. Okay, so for the social class types, we have five class hierarchy. So we have the upper class, we have the upper middle class, we have the lower middle class, the upper lower class, and the lower class. Okay, for the elite class, this is less than 1% in number. Control resources and have inherent wealth. Travel frequently. They are educated with their world-speaking international platform, live in network environment, and difficult to convince in marketing. Okay, for the upper class, this is less than 10% in number, assertive, skilled and motivated, they travel on need and for business support, spend well balanced, they are keen to grow more and to enter in elite class, and often work out their edge when subject to marketing. And then for the upper middle class, this is more than 10% in number, white collar than managing their life or their lifestyles depicting the best, or their deep style depicting the best, spend more on dress, living and social status, spending well balanced, in touch with technology and development, calculative in spending other than mentioned earlier, and then own living conditions and mobility needs. Okay, for the lower middle class, own reasonable living conditions, they are very dependent on community mobility means, they have job and employment that is their basis of concern, spend more on education of their children, do multiple jobs or overtime employment, and then market for marketers. For the working class, they usually live in rented accommodation. They have larger families, internal structure, employment not permanent. They spend aggressively and they spend some portion for education. Okay, for the poor class, no living owned or unemployed mostly, uneducated. Some of them are spending pattern not supported by rational and then live in fallacies. Okay? The fallacies or fallacy is connected to the way of reasoning. So mostly in people in this class or poor class, they suffer from fallacies or wrong decisions, that make their situation more harder or much harder because of those wrong decisions. Okay. So let's go now to social mobility. Social mobility, this is defined as movement from one class or status position to another. So there are two types. We have the intra or generational or intergenerational, which is the movement within one generation. Example, a person moves from one social class to another in the course of their lifetime. So when we say intergenerational, this is a movement of between generations. Person's father, for example, was a laborer and he is a teacher. So there is a change or there is a movement of the class or status position. Again, this can be intragenerational within one generation, or it can also be movement between generations. Okay? Social mobility is to be distinguished from migration, which is movement in geographical area. So it can be vertical mobility, horizontal mobility, open and closed modes of mobility, and intergenerational mobility. Okay, so when we say horizontal mobility, this is movement within same range of prestige. When we say vertical mobility, this is movement from one position to another of a different rank. And then intergenerational mobility, social position changes of children's relatives to their parents. And then intergenerational mobility is social position changes within adult life. And then mobility is influenced by race, class, gender, and education. Okay, here are some reading materials about social class and rankism at work. Please read this reading material. And then another one is an additional video references, which is about social classes in the workplace. Okay, so video was done by students and they are able to blog the social classes in the workplace, wherein they are able to emphasize important details and information about the social classes in the workplace, its advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so I want you to watch this because this will be your reference, or this also will be your guide when you do your final activity for our final, the details uh, later on. Okay, so for this topic, it's very important that we as employers, for you are going to be future employers, you should not base the promotions or the performance evaluation of employees in terms of social class. Okay? So it should be based on the skills and knowledge and its to the entire organization. It's not just that when one of your team members is rich and the others are not that rich and the others are poor, no? You need to, you will give different attention to them. It should be attention. You should give equal attention and equal opportunity for everybody in your organization for the sake of humanity and respect, no, with their coworkers. Okay, so sometimes people are stereotyping based on the social class. Okay, so sometimes they judge people because they know that these people are not that confident because he's not rich or because he's not living with comfortable um, home or houses. He do not have cars or car, and he do not have large amount of money in the bank. So it's not just. It's not that. It's not the way that it should be. So we need to treat people, respect people regardless of their social class, no? Even the workplace or outside the workplace. We need to make them feel confident about themselves and for them to be freely do what they really wanted to do and to show the organization what they got in terms of knowledge and skills, not feeling so inferior from their colleagues. No? we need to be an inspiration to them. Okay, so in that we need, for us also, for you guys and for us, for me too. So we need to show our potentials, our skills and knowledge, our own skills and knowledge, and not thinking of the social class of the people we are working. So it's not that important that you feel so low because you are not that rich and you do not have any material things like them. No, it's not, the mentality should not be like that. So you work because you wanted to have a better life. You wanted to help your family. You wanted to be successful. Now you wanted to be known and focus on that goals. No, do not focus on anything else. Even you do not have ample money today, or you do not have investment, you do not have car, but you have dreams, no, and you are really working hard to pursue your dreams, and you are really about having a good life, a better life. So that all should matter. So in the workplace diversity, yes, a social class is not said, no, it's movable. That's why we have social mobility. It's movable. It's not that you born poor, you will die poor. It's not that. If we have this dream to succeed and we are doing actions to make our dreams possible. So anything or everything is possible. Okay, so that's it for today's discussion. I hope you learned something. Okay, so please be informed about the announcements on the Google Classroom. I will also give you please an assignment quiz and activity after this discussion. Thank you very much and stay safe, everyone.